Hello, and welcome to the University of Suffolk Business Engagement Podcast. I'm Gemma Matten, and today we're taking a look at how we can strengthen the care workforce through apprenticeships and continuing professional development. I'm joined by Alice Carre, Suffolk Branch Manager at Maplewood Independent Living. Alice, to start, could you tell us a little bit more about your role and what work you do at Maplewood Independent Living?
Yeah, of course. So I'm the registered manager for our new Suffolk branch, which is based in Bury St Edmunds. So Maplewood Independent Living as a company, as a business, has been up and running for a while now, and we provide care for people within their own homes. So we provide a broad spectrum of care to meet the needs of the individuals that use our services. So we go into people's homes and support them the way that they need to be supported. So that could be anything from supporting them with getting washed and dressed in the morning, to domestic duties, to supporting them with medication, to even supporting them, caring for them in bed for those who are bedbound.
From your perspective then, what are the key workforce challenges that you are currently facing within the care sector right now?
So I think really historically care was seen as a bit of an easy option for people to find work, and we didn't historically, not Maplewood as a business, but the care sector as a whole didn't get the quality of care through the carers that we were recruiting. I think since the introduction of the Care Act, for the past 20 odd years or so, I think care is starting to be seen as a career, as a vocation. And certainly from personal experience, the opportunities to learn on the job, to progress, to get qualifications. I think now finding those gems, those diamonds of people that want to come on board and actually progress. I would say that the care sector at the moment is very competitive. There's a huge amount of providers, certainly in Suffolk alone, from personal experience. There's a lot of providers out there. So finding those really good quality carers who want to progress, I would say that is probably the biggest challenge at the moment.
So I know that you came through the apprenticeship side yourself. So could you tell me more about that and how it supported you throughout your career?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm originally from Guernsey. I moved over here in 2020 in the midst of COVID, literally as COVID was really gaining traction and, we were kind of all wondering what was going to be. That's when I decided to move to the UK. And consequently got a job in a care home. And if I'm honest with you, at the time, I didn't really see it as a vocation. Like I mentioned earlier, I think a lot of carers historically don't necessarily see it as a vocation. Very, very quickly fell in love with the job and became really passionate about what I did. As part of my recruitment, I was given copious amounts of training. We go through so much training and I really enjoy learning, and going through that experience of learning the ins and outs of what you're doing and how to provide care and making sure that we're looking after infection control, particularly around COVID. I just wanted to learn more and more about what I was doing as a profession. So I got myself enrolled onto the level 2 and then quickly got myself enrolled onto level 3 as well, which is where my career really started to take off. I learned a huge amount. I had a fantastic tutor who worked really closely with me, considering that we couldn't meet face-to-face under normal circumstances. They'd be coming out into the workplace and working with you and monitoring and supervising you. It was all done through Teams. So we were all learning as we went, but my tutor was really supportive. And then once I progressed up to care practitioner level, I decided I wanted to go the whole way and move up into management as well. So then I enrolled on the level 5. I've got my level 5 now and working in management. So yeah.
That support that you do actually get from the training provider as well, that's kind of invaluable. So the fact that you've done that without having that as a face-to-face, when you've done the level 5, was that at a point where you were then able to have hands-on experience with the training providers?
When I embarked on the level 5, there was talk at that time of reintroducing the face-to-face meetings, but that didn't happen whilst I was doing my level 5. I think it was just starting to come into effect. but the training provider that I was working with at the time, they hadn't started doing that yet. So, I think having a tutor, again, my level 5 tutor was amazing. I can't speak highly of her enough. Having a tutor that is really engaging and makes the effort to take the time out to speak with you and really listen to you and support you in a very person-centered way. That was really key for me in making sure that I got through, because it's a lot. It's a lot of work. And when you're working full time as well alongside it, you need that support. So
100%. You do.
Yeah.
You do. With an apprenticeship, it's so important that the employer is so invested in it as well. Absolutely. And then you have a mentor from the employer side, and you have a practice educator as well that's supporting you and helping you get through to the apprenticeship, which is so important. So what makes apprenticeships such a valuable pathway in care roles and long-term careers within the care sector?
Yeah. So for me, obviously, I'm no spring chicken. And for me, finding that vocation later in life and then being able to get the qualifications whilst earning, making a living for yourself is key. In hindsight, if I could go back now, I'd love to go back and get all of my qualifications earlier in life, but it didn't work out like that. So having that opportunity then to get them later in life and to really forge a really strong career that's based on really strong foundations, it's made me want to learn more and do more. And I don't think I'm ever going to want to stop learning.
That's a really important thing that you've just said about apprenticeships is that I think there's still this thought there that it is purely for people that are just coming out of schools and colleges. It's not. You could be absolutely any age to be able to start an apprenticeship, and you don't have to then go back to apprenticeship wage.
I would have loved to get some nursing qualifications, but the concept of me going back onto an apprenticeship wage, it was not thinkable. We have a mortgage. So the opportunity to progress as much as I could along the path that I was following, that was so invaluable.
That's what the levy is there for as well. So a lot of companies, again, don't realise that they're paying into the levy, and if they're not using it, it disappears. Even if it's a non-levy company, you can go and do a levy transfer. So go speak to a levy-paying company. If they're not utilising it, they can transfer it to a non-levy company and support them with an apprenticeship. So again, there's so many things that are out there to help and support businesses and people that are trying to develop their careers. So from your perspective then, how important is a programme like this in helping staff progress and take on more advanced responsibilities?
It's essential. I think from my own experience, if somebody comes into the care sector and falls in love with it, as I did, you don't necessarily know. When you're recruiting, you can see something in them, absolutely, but you don't necessarily know who's going to really engage at that point and who isn't. And I think, talking from my own personal experience, I joined the care sector as someone who wanted to do a job that was caring, that I could really get a lot out of, but I didn't understand at the time how much I was going to fall in love with it and how much there was to learn about it. So it's so important. I think I'm answering your question correctly. It's so, so important to have that opportunity for people who were like me, who don't necessarily have a very clear idea of what they want until they're actually on that pathway.
We're currently offering the Assistant Practitioner Level 5 apprenticeship at the University of Suffolk. And so it's a great way to support the care sector by helping experienced staff progress into more advanced roles. So it builds their skills, their confidence, and it allows them to take on more responsibility and support for wider teams. And then for employers, it also helps develop talent from within, which is what we've just been saying, and so improve retention, strengthen overall workforce, which is essential for delivering high quality care. And we've also got a new course, a CPD offering we're running at the moment, which is for non-medical prescribing, which supports experienced healthcare professionals to safely take on prescribing responsibilities. So that helps improve patient access to treatment, make services more efficient, and gives professionals the skills and confidence to make informed clinical decisions. So ultimately strengthening the quality of the care provided. So looking into the future, how do you see the combination of apprenticeships and CPD, such as those, supporting and sustaining the care workforce?
I think it's a really valid point, and particularly when you're talking about people gaining qualifications where they can prescribe out in the community, they can support people at a high level out in the community. I think with the way that the care sector is at the moment in terms of funding and the pressure that the NHS is under at the moment, we're hard pressed not to be aware of the amount of pressure that's on the NHS. If we can keep the focus in the community and support healthcare professionals to provide a really effective service out in the community that then prevents people from being unnecessarily admitted to hospital and then having to go through all of the discharge process and everything that follows, the costs involved for everybody, especially that individual in terms of the personal cost to them. If we can put the focus on the community in the first place and get people qualified and trained to provide that really effective service, then I think it's going to benefit society as a whole.
And that's definitely something that I know is being pushed at the moment. Yeah. And community care is something that's
so important,
utmost importance at the moment. So I think having those qualifications and having people go on to those qualifications and enhancing themselves with CPD, it's something that is invaluable. So, and finally, what would you say to any employers who are thinking about investing in training but haven't yet taken that step?
I'm an advocate for apprenticeships, and from personal experience, I know I'm a valuable asset to any company that I work for now. And that's because somebody took the opportunity to invest in me and to spend that time with me, helping me to develop in my role and gain those qualifications. So I'm all the way, I would say absolutely try it.
So Alice, thank you for sharing your insights today. It's clear that a combination of apprenticeships and targeted CPD, such as non-medical prescribing, can play a vital role in developing a skilled, confident and future-ready workforce in the care sector, such as you have now gone through the whole process as well, and now a rising star yourself.
Thank you.
At the University of Suffolk, we're proud to support employers through programmes like the Assistant Practitioner Level 5 Apprenticeship and our CPD non-medical prescribing course, helping to build capacity and capability across health and care services. If you'd like to find out more, please do get in touch with our business engagement team. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time on the University of Suffolk Business Engagement Podcast.